I am a fool. That is one thing for certain. Happy Tuesday. I didn't show up yesterday, you guys, because I was busy doing some other stuff. I was going to make a video. I'm going to start doing draws. I think one thing that I really want to emphasize on this channel that I'm going to start doing more is try to make as much of the invisible visible. I've been doing tarot card draws for quite a few years now, and it's always a lot of people think it's hocus pocus or whatever. It doesn't matter what you think. You're actually, all of us are connected in this way where we are always pulling information from our environment. So you can allow your intuition to pull information. It doesn't matter. It could be a written card. I actually have quite a few written cards that I'm going to turn into other cards because I actually like using those ones a lot better. But I've got a couple sets of tarot card decks here that I just did a poll, and we're in springtime, so everything's starting new. Everything is at the beginning, and so that's kind of what I drew here. But before I go through over this what I drew here, I want to talk about something that I haven't really spoken too much about. I think my last video is about Job, and how Moses wrote his own story through Job. What It's kind of my truth, right? The truth that I've lived with for years and years and years, and it's always the underlying reality of what everything is. So all of us, everything around you, it doesn't matter what you're looking at. And I've always loved trees because trees are telling us the same thing that's telling you about everything else. It's that everything is one thing moving in two directions. So if you look at a tree, you have the heart of a tree, and it's moving up and down, right? It's moving in two directions. So you're either moving from source or back to source. So if you look at your own biofield, for example, your heart, your throat chakra is the first point. In the beginning was the word, because that's the first thing from source. Source is the 0 point, and then you create in this way, and then it comes back on the bottom side. So everything's either moving back to source or away from source. So in order to move away from each other, that's conflict, right? You're creating conflict. And so the only way to gather energy, because all of us are energy consumers, we're exchanging energy. So if you're creating conflict, that's how you're consuming energy. You're drawing energy from the difference in potential between 2 points. And the opposite is true if you're moving closer to each other. That's, love versus fear. So everything is built that way. Everything in our reality is love versus fear. Either you're moving closer together or you're moving farther away. And so every single process, if you just break it down to the most simplistic version of your relationships, everything, either you're moving closer to somebody or you're moving away. And a lot of times you don't realize it. I mean, there's a lot of undermining factors, that go into how well your relationships are doing, and you're unconsciously might be pulling energy. For me personally, for a long time, I always thought that, if I just gave of myself unconditionally to everybody, that eventually people would learn that they are, that I felt like I could be like, like a just somebody that you could run over. And then if you ran me over enough times, that you'd learn that I love you anyway. But I don't think that's a very good, philosophy to live by. If you really think about it, I mean, if you're just getting run over all the time, you're draining yourself, right? You're getting your energy drained. So, I mean, there's people that consciously drain other people's energy and live off other people's energy. And then there's unconscious living off of other people's energy, where you don't realize that you need this person there, this codependency where you have to, this person, you're always drawing energy from them. And I've always been such a provider. I love providing energy to everybody that I just let myself get drained constantly, right? So you have to end up setting internal boundaries. It's like, okay, And so you will unconsciously absorb other people's energy when they're draining you, and then you'll use those patterns. So what I recommend with anybody watching this is if you're feeling drained, just make sure that you're staying at home, or just pull back and take some time to rest and reflect and heal yourself. Right? I mean, I've done so much healing over the past year because I was unconsciously pulling off of my environment from so many people, and that's not how you want to be. Right? You want to be to where you can you're in a good state of mind so you can provide for the people around you. All of us want to be in that state. So that's my main point of topic today. All spiritual texts are telling you the same story. If we go back to the tree exercise and the state of reality, Adam and Eve, the male and female, which is the one consciousness, had the two brothers. One created, one destroyed. And so that's the two directions that the tree's growing, right? You're either moving towards the light or you're moving away from the light. So either creating, or you're providing energy, or you're pulling energy. And so all these stories, all these spiritual stories, are metaphors for the actual state of reality. I see so many things on there's always a commercial. I think it's Graham Hancock. It's like, we're living in a big mystery. Well, we're really not. There's only, if you look at a picture of our galaxy, either you're moving towards the center or you're moving away. And right now, what we're going through as a society is we're getting to a point where we realize that we have to start growing closer together, or technology is going to keep moving us away. I mean, I think eventually here, very shortly, I'm going to start moving. I need to start moving, taking this show on the road, because I want to meet as many of you as possible and grow closer to as many people personally as possible away from this. So, get off my soapbox. Let's go to the cards. So what I drew for the first 5 cards, I drew 5 normal tarot cards. I drew 5 of Cups in reverse, which means, you're in a state of loss, but that's being reversed, right? So you're no longer worrying about the past anymore. You're finally letting go of the past. And this is a collective energy reading, right? I hear this so much. This is a collective energy reading, but then it seems like they're targeting a certain group. But the secret of tarot is actually the same secret that's all around you. I think some tarot card readers understand this, and I'm not sure if they do or not, but you're actually pulling cards for yourself at the same time. It doesn't matter if you're reading someone else, you're pulling cards for yourself at the same time, because all of us are so connected. You're actually pulling cards, and you're unconsciously pulling the right cards that's telling you about the relationships that are happening in the background around what you're doing and what everybody else is doing at the same time. So all of us are in these relationships that are growing this way, and we're finally letting go of these old realities, right? These old ways of interacting. We're going to become more clear. We're growing closer to each other. And so I wanted a little more detail on the 5 of Cups, and so I drew the 8 of Fire, action. So we're taking action towards each other. And it doesn't matter how that is, right? As long as you're taking action towards each other, that it's going to benefit yourself in the long run, because you're going to learn more about yourself by interacting with other people. 4 of Swords came up second, which means that a lot of people are resting and taking some time to reflect. 6 of Wands, we're on our victory march here, because we're starting to understand ourselves after we take the time to reflect. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I kind of pulled this card. I couldn't figure out if I pulled it in reverse. I kind of pulled it sideways. So I wanted to get some more information on the 10 of Pentacles that I pulled, and I got I got movement. So there's movement towards the 10 of Pentacles right now. So the 10 of Pentacles doesn't manifest. It's in reversed, but we're moving towards 10 of Pentacles, which means that maybe there's some of us that are actually moving away from 10 of Pentacles, and some of us that are moving towards 10 of Pentacles, right? Because we're in a giant group consciousness. So there's going to be people that are not understanding why they're moving away, and people that are moving towards 10 of Pentacles and moving away from 10 of Pentacles. And of course, 5th card was the Death card, which is one of my favorite cards. There's always an ending before there can be a new beginning. So there's we're going through endings and beginnings. Or in springtime. So finally, that long winter is finally ending, and there's movement and action towards the Ten of Pentacles. And for some people, it might be temporarily away from the Ten of Pentacles, right? If you were already in the Ten of Pentacles, and let's say you were in a vampiristic state where you're pulling too much energy, those things have to come back around, and you're going to find yourself in a situation where maybe you're moving away from the Ten of Pentacles for a little while. And so the final card that I got at the end there was Charmed, my Charmed card. This is all charmed, right? I mean, we're living in a charmed existence. We're all moving together. We're all moving closer together. So that's my energy reading for today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you. Bye.